Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, I am going to cover Introduction to Real Numbers for class 9. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. In previous classes, we have learned about various types of numbers that are natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers, right? Don't worry, even if you don't remember these numbers, I'm going to do a quick brush up of this so that you will understand what does it mean by natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers, so that we can understand real numbers. Okay. Let me tell you, the real numbers are a collection of rational numbers and irrational numbers. You see, till now we said that we learnt about rational numbers, right? But I am saying real numbers are a collection of rational numbers and irrational numbers. It means we don't know about irrational numbers. That we have to first understand before getting into real numbers, right? Because real numbers are a collection of rational numbers which we know already and irrational numbers which we are going to learn about now, right? You must have seen this number line, right? On this number line we have represented 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and so on, right? This number line as is telling that it is a number line for integers where you have 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and so on, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 minus 5 and so on. These numbers, this collection of numbers is called integers, right? Now what I would like to say is the numbers that can be represented on this number line are called real numbers. What do I mean? For example, if I put a dot on this number line, this represents a real number. 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 Like that, this particular point represents a real number. This particular point represents a real number. Right? So, if you put a dot on the number line, that represents a real. Got it? Before understanding about real numbers, I would like you to quickly recall what does it mean by natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, and then rational numbers. Right? Let's do that now. The numbers that are used to count objects are called natural numbers. For example, you say that one ball, there are two cars, there are 30 students, 1,000 tigers, 1 lakh people, etc. Right? Here we are representing different kinds of objects, people, or animals using certain numbers. Right? These numbers are used to count those particular objects. Right? That's why these numbers are called natural numbers. And if you write the list of natural numbers, it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so and so on. There is no end to it. You can write as many numbers as possible. So smallest number of natural numbers is 1. There is no one greatest or last natural number. It means if you keep writing natural numbers, you will be writing the natural numbers forever. There is no limit to it, right? It means one can write and count infinitely many natural numbers. Please note this. Natural numbers are represented using letter capital N. Please note this. This represents natural numbers. Capital N represents the natural numbers. Now let's look at whole numbers. We have seen natural numbers, right? They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on. For this list of numbers, if I add 0, what this collection of numbers is called is whole numbers. So let me write whole numbers. Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on, right? The smallest number of whole numbers is 0. Please note this. One can write and count infinitely many whole numbers. For whole numbers also, there is no upper limit. One can keep writing, right? For example, if you have to represent no cars using a number, if you know only natural numbers, you cannot represent that. Since we have added 0, we can say that 0 cars. Now you must have understood, historically people must have been counting the objects. So they must have come up with natural numbers first, right? And there was a need to represent, certain things which are not present. There are no birds on a branch of a tree. How do I say that? I can say that there are 0 birds on the branch of a tree, right? So for that reason, 0 was required and 0 was added to the list of numbers they know, and then they started calling these numbers as whole numbers. Got it? Whole numbers are represented using letter W. Please note this. Now I have a question. Can we subtract a larger number from smaller number? For example, can you subtract 6 from 4? That can be written as 4 minus 6, right? What is the value of 4 minus 6? If you know only natural numbers and whole numbers, you will not be able to answer this question. But since you are already in 9th standard, you know that 4 minus 6 is minus 2, right? So minus 2 is not part of whole numbers, right? For that reason, later on, people must have come up with integers that include negative numbers also. We have seen whole numbers, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. When you add negative numbers to this list of numbers, such as minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on, and there is no limit on the negative side also, you can write as many numbers as possible. So this bunch of numbers together are called integers. So let me write integers. Integers can be written as shown here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on to the right. And then minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9, and so on to the left to the 0. Right? These are called integers. All the negative integers are smaller than 0. Please note this. All the negative integers are smaller than 0. And all the negative integers are smaller than positive integers. Please note this. Integers are represented using letter Z. Please note this. Now, since we have negative numbers, we can say that 4 minus 6 is equal to minus 2. You understood why people have or why you have learned first natural numbers, and then in the later classes you have learned about whole numbers, right? In 7th standard or so you have learned about integers, right? Now let's understand rational numbers. Let us consider few numbers: 22 by 5, 5 by 10, 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, 1 divided by minus 3, 100 by 3, 98 by 100, and so on. You can consider as many numbers as required. If you observe, each of these numbers is a ratio of two integers, right? For example, if you take 22 by 5, 22 is an integer, 5 is another integer, right? If you consider 1 by 2, 1 is an integer, 2 is another integer. Consider 100 by 3, 100 is an integer, 3 is another integer. 1 is an integer, minus 3 is also an integer, right? So each of these numbers, whatever we have seen now, are ratio of two integers, right? The numbers that expressed as p by q are called rational numbers, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. Please note that the numbers that are expressed as ratio of integers are called rational numbers, but there is a limit to it. The denominator cannot be 0. If denominator is 0, then that particular number has no meaning, right? 1 by 0, 2 by 0, 3 by 0, these numbers are not defined, right? That's why you should not be having denominator as 0. But if the given number is a ratio of two integers, or if a given number can be expressed as p by q, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0, those numbers are called rational numbers. Got it? It means whatever numbers we have seen, all these numbers are rational numbers, right? So rational numbers are denoted using letter Q. Please note this, because sometimes rational numbers are also called quotient numbers. That's why Q is used to represent rational numbers. Please note this, we can express natural numbers as rational numbers. When I say natural number, for example 2, 2 can be written as 2 by 1, right? 2 by 1 is equal to 2, right? 2 by 1 can be also written as 4 by 2, right? 6 by 3, 8 by 4, and so on, right? It means we could express a natural number like 2 as a ratio of two integers, 2 and 1, 4 and 2, or 6 and 3, right? Let's take a look at another number. 5 is also a natural number that can be written as 5 by 1. That can also be written as 50 by 10, 25 by 5, and so on. So what you have to note here is we can express natural numbers as rational numbers. Now let me write the whole numbers as rational numbers. 0 is a whole number. 0 can be written as 0 by 1, 0 by 2, 0 by 3. Anything you have in the denominator, when you are dividing 0 with any of the numbers, what you get is 0, right? That's why 0 can be written as 0 by 10, 0 by 100, doesn't matter. So we can express whole numbers also as rational numbers. So another example is you take 3, which is a whole number, right? That can be written as 3 by 1, 15 by 5, 30 by 10, doesn't matter, right? In all these cases, we are expressing number 3 as ratio of two integers. That's why it is a rational number. Got it? We can express integers as rational numbers. 4 is an integer. It can be written as 4 by 1. Minus 4 is an integer. That can be written as minus 4 by 1, right? Or otherwise, I can write it as 4 divided by minus 1, right? That is also equal to minus 4. So what you have now learned is integers like 4, which is written as the ratio of two integers, 4 and 1, minus 4, which is an integer, is expressed as ratio of minus 4 and 1. Those two are integers. Or 4 and minus 1, those two are also integers, right? So what you have now learned is we can express natural numbers as rational numbers, whole numbers as rational numbers, integers as rational numbers. It means whatever numbers till date you have learned, natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, all these are rational numbers. Got it? Now let's learn about real numbers. The numbers that are used to count objects are called natural numbers, right? That's what we started with. Natural numbers have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. When you add 0 to this list of numbers, what you got is whole numbers, right? Natural numbers and 0 together are called whole numbers. When you brought negative numbers such as minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and so on, clubbed with whole numbers, what you got is integers, right? Now we have seen that integers and ratio of integers are called rational numbers, right? Ratio of integers, when you put together with all the integers, you call them as rational numbers, right? You have another set of numbers which are called irrational numbers, which does not belong to any of the numbers we have learned till now. Those are something like root 2, root 3, minus root 5, pi, etc. Right? These are called irrational numbers. We'll understand what does it mean by irrational numbers as we go in this video further. So when you put these two list of numbers together, irrational numbers and rational numbers together, those numbers are called real numbers. Please note this. Got it? We said that real numbers are a collection of rational numbers and irrational numbers, right? To understand about real numbers, we have to first understand irrational numbers. That's what we said, right? But now let me tell you, to understand irrational numbers, it's always important to understand rational numbers better. You have learned about rational numbers in 8th standard, but it is always better to quickly brush up your concepts of rational numbers. Then you will be able to understand irrational numbers better. Got it? So let's quickly take a look at rational numbers. Let's understand now about rational numbers between two rational numbers. We have seen natural numbers, those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on, right? For example, if I am asking you to write natural numbers between 3 and 6, you can say that between 3 and 6 there are two numbers, 4 and 5, right? So answer is 4 and 5, clear. Integers, we know, those are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on, right? Now, if I ask you a question, write integers between minus 4 and 3, right? These are the numbers. These are the integers between minus 4 and 3. Let me write that. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, and 2, right? Now, let's ask another question. Can you write integers between 3 and 4? You have 3 here, you have 4 here, right? Those are the integers next to each other. So there exists no integer between 3 and 4, right? Let me write that. No integers exist between 3 and 4. Now, the question is, do rational numbers exist between 3 and 4? Meaning, can I write rational numbers between 3 and 4? Answer is yes. We can write infinitely many number of rational numbers between 3 and 4. You take a note of this point. We said that we can write infinitely many number of rational numbers, not 1 or 2. We said that we can write infinitely many number of rational numbers between 3 and 4. Let's understand how we can do that. Let's try to write rational numbers between two rational numbers using mean method. Mean of two numbers a and b can be written as a plus b by 2, right? For example, mean of 0 and 1 is half, right? So you can write a rational number in the middle of 0 and 1 as mean of 0 and 1, right? That is equal to half. You can write 3 by 4. You can write something like 3 by 5, right? 3 by 6. All this is, all these possibilities are there. But the mean method gives you a way to write one rational number in the middle of two rational numbers, 0 and 1, for example, as their mean, that is 0 plus 1 divided by 2, that is equal to half. So let me say that if a and b are the rational numbers, then the rational number in the middle of a and b is a plus b by 2, right? There may be many more numbers, but this is one possible number always. The mean method gives you one rational number in between a and b, that is a plus b by 2. Got it? So now the rational number in the middle of 3 and 4, I can write it as 3 plus 4 divided by 2, right? 3 plus 4 is 7. So the rational number in the middle of 3 and 4 is 7 by 2. We have seen this number line, right? I have marked only few numbers on this line, but you can mark as many numbers as you want. I have marked 2, 3, 4, 5 only, right? 7 by 2 falls in the middle of 3 and 4, right? So if I mark at exactly a point exactly at the midpoint of 3 and 4, that is going to be 7 by 2. Got it? Let's take a note of this. Now, can I find another rational number between 3 and 4? For that, what I'm going to do is, I'll find a rational number in the middle of 3 and 7 by 2. Right? So that may fall exactly in the middle of these two numbers. Right? So that is 3 plus 7 by 2 divided by 2. Rational number in the middle of 3 and 7 by 2 is going to be 3 plus 7 by 2 divided by 2. That is what the mean method is saying, right? Now let's first find the value of 3 plus 7 by 2. 3 plus 7 by 2 can be written as 3 by 1 plus 7 by 2, right? Look at the denominators. Denominators are not same, right? Their LCM is 2. Now what I can do is I can write it as 3 times LCM 2 divided by this 1, right? That is equal to 2 plus 7 times LCM 2 divided by this 2, that is equal to 1. So if I write that, 3 times 2 plus 7 times 1 divided by 2, right? So simplify it such that you get it as 13 by 2. Now we got the value of the numerator of the rational number we are looking for, right? 3 plus 7 by 2 is 13 by 2. What is the value of 3 plus 7 by 2 divided by 2? That can be written as 13 by 2 divided by 2 divided by 1, right? So when you have a division like this, what you can do is you can write it as 13 by 2 times 1 by 2. Here you have 2 by 1, which is dividing 13 by 2, right? You now when you want to multiply 13 by 2, it becomes 1 by 2. Otherwise, you can remember like this. Instead of dividing 13 by 2 with 2 by 1, what I do is I'll multiply 13 by 2 with 1 by 2, which is a multiplicative inverse of 2 by 1. 1 by 2 times 2 by 1 equal to 1, right? That's why we say that 1 by 2 is multiplicative inverse of 2 by 1, or 2 by 1 is multiplicative inverse of 1 by 2, right? Instead of dividing 13 by 2 with 2 by 1, what I'm doing is I'm multiplying 13 by 2 with 1 by 2, which is a multiplicative inverse of 2 by 1, right? So 13 by 2 times 1 by 2 is 13 by 4. Please note this. Now, the rational number in the middle of 3 and 7 by 2 is 13 by 4. So as I said earlier, if you mark a point exactly in the middle of these 2 points, that is going to be 13 by 4. As you have seen here, 3 is less than 13 by 4. 13 by 4 is less than 7 by 2. That is less than 4, right? So by mean method, we could get 13 by 4 and 7 by 2 as two rational numbers in between 3 and 4, right? Two rational numbers between 3 and 4 are 13 by 4 and 7 by 2. So this is sort of slightly laborious process. For example, if you have to find 10 rational numbers using this mean method, it becomes cumbersome, little bit tedious job, right? So there is another method to quickly find few rational numbers between any two rational numbers. Let's take a look at that method now. Write two rational numbers between 3 and 4 in single step. There we were doing multiple steps, right? For two numbers, we had to do 2 steps. Similarly, if you have to do 10 numbers, you have to write 10 numbers, means you have to follow 10 steps. But here what I'm saying is we want to write two numbers, two rational numbers in between 3 and 4 in single step. The methodology is as follows. We know that 3 can be written as 3 by 1, 4 can be written as 4 by 1, right? And we want to write two rational numbers between 3 by 1 and 4 by 1, right? So to do that, we have to express 3 by 1 and 4 by 1 as rational numbers with 3 as the denominator. Why 3 as the denominator? We want to get two rational numbers, right? That's why you have to say 2 plus 1 as the denominator. 2 plus 1 is 3. That's why we have to write, or we have to express 3 by 1 and 4 by 1 as rational numbers with 3 as the denominator. Please note this. When you do that, 3 that is equal to 3 by 1 can be written as 9 by 3. What I have done here is I have multiplied numerator and denominator of 3 by 1 with number 3, right? So 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 3 is 3. So 9 by 3 is equal to 3, right? So we have expressed number 3 as a rational number which has got denominator 3. Got it? Similarly, we can convert, or we can express number 4 as a rational number which has got denominator 3. For that also, what I'm doing is I'm multiplying both numerator and denominator with number 3. When I do that, I get 12 by 3, right? Now look at the numerator, 3 and 12. Sorry, 9 and 12, right? Can I write like this? 9 is less than 10, that is less than 11, that is less than 12, right? This is what you have learned in the case of integers or whole numbers, right? Now just divide every number with 3. So you can say that 9 by 3 is smaller than 10 by 3, that is smaller than 11 by 3, that is smaller than 12 by 3, right? Look at this. We wanted to write two rational numbers in between 3 and 4, right? This is equal to 4, this is equal to 3. So now you have two rational numbers in between 3 and 4, right? Let's write that. Two rational numbers between 3 and 4 are 10 by 3 and 11 by 3. Got it? Let's quickly look at this method with another example. Let's write 5 rational numbers between 3 and 4 in single step. We want to write 5 rational numbers, right? That's why we want to express number 3 and number 4, which can be written as 3 by 1 and 4 by 1, as rational numbers with 6 as the denominator. Since we want to write 5 rational numbers in between, we want to make 3 and 4, or express 3 and 4 as rational numbers with 6 as the denominator. It is 5, that's why it is 6. Got it? 3 by 1 can be written as 3 times 6 divided by 1 times 6, right? What I have done is multiplied the numerator and denominator with number 6, right? So this has become 18 by 6. So now 3 is expressed as a rational number with number 6 as the denominator. Similarly, 4 can also be written. 4 by 1 equal to 4 times 6 divided by 1 times 6, that is equal to 24 by 6, right? So this also has got denominator 6. Now look at this. I can write 18 less than 19, that is less than 20, less than 21, less than 22, less than 23, less than 24, right? Now divide every number with 6, so that I can write it as 18 by 6 is less than 19 by 6, that is less than 20 by 6, that is less than 21 by 6, less than 22 by 6, less than 23 by 6, that is less than 24 by 6. We know that 24 by 6 is equal to 4, right? And 18 by 6 is equal to 3. Look at this. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rational numbers in between 3 and 4. Got it? Sorry. 5 rational numbers between 3 and 4 are 19 by 6, 20 by 6, 21 by 6, 22 by 6, 23 by 6, right? Similarly, we can write 100 rational numbers between 3 and 4, right? For all that, what you have to do is express 3 and 4 as rational numbers with the denominator 101, right? We can also write 10,000 rational numbers between 3 and 4, right? For that, what we have to do is we have to express 3 and 4 as rational numbers with denominator is equal to 10,001, right? When you do that, you will get 10,000 rational numbers between 3 and 4. In this fashion, we can write infinitely many rational numbers between any two rational numbers. Not only 3, 4, here we have taken example of 3, 4, but any two rational numbers you take, doesn't matter. We can write infinitely many rational numbers between those two numbers. Got it? Let us now quickly recall about decimal representation of rational numbers. Let us express number 7 by 16 in decimal form. For that, I can write the numerator 7 as 7.0000. I can write as many zeros, right? 7 is equal to 7.0 or 7.000, right? So I can have as many zeros, doesn't matter. So now we want to divide 7.0000 with 16, right? Let me write 16 like this. 7 is smaller than 16, right? So let me say that 16 times 0 is 0, right? When I subtract 0 from 7, what I get is 7, right? Now you have come to a point where you have seen the digit, sorry, dot, right? Let's put dot in the quotient part also, right? Once you have dot there, what you can do is you can bring down this 0. When I do that, I got now 70, right? Let me divide now 70 with 16. 4 times 16 is 64, right? When you subtract 64 from 70, what you get is 6, right? Now what I want to do is I want to get this 0 down, the second 0, right? So that it becomes 60. The 6 has now become 60, right? Now divide 60 with 16. 3 times 16 is 48, right? You subtract 48 from 60. Answer is 12. Let's bring down the third 0. So 12 becomes 120 now, right? Divide 120 with number 16. 7 times 16 is 112. When you subtract 112 from 120, what you get is 8, right? Now bring the last 0 down. Of course, you can have more zeros, but I'm saying last 0, doesn't matter. Now you have 80, right? We know 5 times 16 is 80. When you subtract 80 from 80, what you get is 0 as the remainder, right? So now we got 0. That's why, I have kept only 4 zeros here. Otherwise, I could have kept more zeros. Doesn't matter, right? Now, we can say that 7 by 16 equal to 0.4375. It is read as 0.4375. So we have expressed 7 by 16, which is a rational number, in the decimal form, right? Now let's take a look at another problem. Let's express 2 by 3 in the decimal form, right? For that, let me divide 2 with 3 as shown here. 2, I am writing it as 2 equal to 2.0. I am writing it as 2.4 zeros. Doesn't matter, you can have as many zeros as you want, right? 2 is smaller than 3, right? That's why I say 0 times 3 is 0. Let me subtract 0 from 2 so that you got 2 as the answer. Now we have got to the point where the dot is there, right? So we have to have dot now in the quotient, right? Now let me bring this 0 down. When I bring the 0 down, 2 becomes 20, right? Now let me divide 20 with number 3. 6 times 3 is 18, right? When you subtract 18 from 20, what you get is 2 as the answer, right? Now let me bring this particular 0 down, right? It becomes 20 again. So 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract that. Again, you get 2 as the remainder, right? Now bring the next 0 down. This is 20 again. 6 times 3, 18. When you subtract, again you get 20 minus 18 equal to 2, right? I can bring this 0 down now. This becomes 20. 6 times 3 is 18, right? When you subtract, again you get 2, right? You can continue this process. So you are going to repeatedly get 6 only in the quotient, right? So let me stop here and write it as 2 by 3 equal to 0.6666 and so on, right? Meaning the 6 is going to repeat as many times as you proceed with this process. If you do 10 more times, you will get 10 more 6s, right? So 2 by 3 is equal to 0.6666 and so on, right? This can be represented in a short form as 2 by 3 equal to 0.6 with over bar on 6, right? Because 6 is the number which is repeating multiple times. We write over bar on the number 6. Got it? Now we have seen 7 by 6 can be expressed as a decimal number, right? That is 0.4375. And we have seen 2 by 3 can be written as 0.6666 and so on. Or otherwise you write it as 0.6 with over bar on 6, right? 17 by 5 can be written as 3.4. 1 by 2 is 0.5, right? Similarly, 11 by 9, if you do the division, conversion of 11 by 9 into decimal form, then what you get is 1.2222 and so on. That is written as 1.2 with over bar on number 2, right? Because 2 is the digit which is repeating. Got it? Another thing is 10 by 7 can be written as 1.428571 428571. If you keep writing, what you would be getting is 1.428571 428571 428571 428571 and so on. For that reason, what we have done is we have represented it as 1.428571 with over bar on 428571, because these 6 digits are repeating, right? Once you have 428571, again you got 428571, right? Now let's look at these 3 numbers. The decimal representation has only finite number of digits, right? Here we have, after dot we have 4 digits, here we have 1 digit, here we have 1 digit. These are finite. When it comes to this side, there is no limit to it. Actually, you can write infinite number of the same digits. In the case of this 0.6, sorry, in the case of 0.6666 and so on, you keep writing infinite number of 6s. Okay, same is true here. 2 repeats infinitely many number of times. Here 428571 is repeating multiple times, right? But in the first case, we have seen that decimal representation has only finite number of digits. That's why these particular kind of decimals are called terminating decimals, meaning the decimal expansion terminates at some point, right? It terminated after 4 digits, it terminated after 1 digit, it terminated after 1 digit, right? On the other case, in these cases, it is not terminating, right? That's why these are called non-terminating recurring decimals. Recurring or repeating doesn't matter, but people call it recurring decimal, right? Both mean the same. Non-terminating and repeating decimals here. So what I can say now is rational numbers, when you convert them to decimal form, you either get terminating decimals or non-terminating recurring decimals, right? You have a rational number, for example 7 by 16, you got a terminating decimal when you convert that to decimal form, right? When you have another rational number 2 by 3, you got non-terminating recurring decimal when you converted 2 by 3 into decimal form, right? So this is what you have to note. When you convert a rational number into its decimal form, you may either get a terminating decimal or non-terminating and recurring decimal. Please note this. Let us now learn about conversion of decimal form to rational form. For that, let us consider an example, 0.5. We want to express 0.5 in the rational form. 0.5 is a terminating decimal, right? Because the expansion stopped after number 5. 0.5 can be written as 0.5 by 1, but this is not a rational number, right? The reason is that rational number is defined as ratio of two integers. 0.5 is not an integer, right? 1 is an integer, but 0.5 is not an integer. That's why 0.5 by 1 is not a rational number. So to express this as rational number, what we want to do is, since 0.5 has only one digit after the decimal, that is 5, we want to multiply both numerator and denominator of this particular number with 10. Take a note of this. One digit after the decimal, 1 0 in the 10, right? So when you multiply both the numerator and denominator with 10, it becomes 0.5 times 10 divided by 1 times 10, right? 0.5 times 10, when you multiply with 10, this brings the dot from to the right by one place and this 0 drops. For example, if you have 0.05 and multiply with, let's say, 10, then what happens is it brings the dot by one digit to the right and drops 1 0. This is equal to point. Got it? So now 0.5 into 10 is going to be 5 and 1 by 10 is going to be 10. Sorry, 1 times 10 is 10. So 0.5 by 1 is now written as 5 by 10. This is a rational number, right? Both numerator and denominator are integers. Now what I will do is, I don't leave it here. I'll divide both numerator and denominator with number 5. When I do that, it becomes half, right? So 0.5 is equal to half. We can say that half is the simplest form of 0.5. 1 by 2 is the simplest form of 0.5. 5 by 10 is also equivalent rational number, but we want to write it in the simplest form. That's why we have divided both numerator and denominator of 5 by 10 with number 5, so that you got 1 by 2 as the rational number, which is equivalent to 0.5. Got it? Now let's look at another problem. Let's express 0.4375 in the rational form. It is also a terminating decimal, right? Because the decimal expansion of this number stopped after 5 here, right? After 4 digits. 0.4375 can be written as 0.4375 divided by 1, right? This is not a rational number. We want to convert this as a rational number, right? For that, what we are going to do is, since 0.4375 has 4 digits after the decimal, we want to multiply both numerator and denominator of this number with 10,000. You see, 4 digits here, 4 zeros here. When you multiply, it can be written as 0.4375 into 10,000 divided by 1 into 10,000, right? So 0.4375 into 10,000. Okay, let me cross 1 0 and bring dot here. Let me cross another 0, bring dot here, cross another 0, bring dot here, cross another 0, bring dot here, right? This is equal to 4375, right? Now the given number can be written as 4375 divided by 10,000. Both numerator and denominator can be divided now with number 5. When you do that, it becomes 875 divided by 2000. Here also both numerator and denominator are multiples of number 5. So let me divide both the numerator and denominator with number 5 such that it can be written as 175 divided by 400. Here also both numerator and denominator are multiples of number 5. Let me divide again these two with number 5 so that it is 35 by 80 now. Let me divide further with number 5 such that it can be written as 7 by 16. You remember we have solved this problem earlier. We have converted 7 by 16 into decimal form. That time we got 0.4375 as the decimal form, right? Now we have expressed 0.4375 in the rational form to get 7 by 16. You see, all these are rational numbers. But this is the rational number in its simplest form, right? 7 by 16 is the simplest form of 0.4375. Got it? Now let us look at another example. Let us express 0.6 with overbar on 6 in the rational form. We know that 0.6 with overbar is equal to 0.66666 and so on is a non-terminating recurring decimal, right? For that, conversion process is slightly different. Let me first assume that x equal to 0.66666 and so on, right? As you see here, one digit, that is number 6, is repeating, right? That's why we say that periodicity of the given decimal is 1, right? So now I have an equation that is x equal to 0.6666 and so on. I want to multiply both the sides of this particular equation with number 10. Remember, one digit is repeating, I want to multiply with 10. If two digits are repeating, I want you to multiply with 100. Three digits are repeating, multiply with 1000. Got it? So only one digit is repeating, that's why multiply both sides of this equation with 10. When you do that, you can write it as 10 times x equal to 10x equal to 6.6666 and so on, right? Let me write that. I want to subtract x equal to 0.666 and so on from 10x. When I do that, this side, LHS side, it becomes 9x and RHS is going to be 6, right? So 9x equal to 6, x equal to 6 by 9, right? This is a rational number. It can be further simplified and written as 2 by 3, right? You remember 2 by 3 is the number we have started with and got 0.6 with overbar on 6, right? Earlier. Now you converted the given decimal number into a rational number, that is 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is the simplest form of 0.66666 and so on, right? Let's take a look at another problem now. Let us express 1.428571 with overbar on 428571 in the rational form. As you see here, since there is overbar, it means it is a non-terminating recurring decimal, right? Because these 6 digits are going to repeat continuously. It's like it is going to, this bunch of 6 numbers will be repeating, right? So let's assume x equal to 1.428571 with overbar on 428571. That is written as 1.428571, 428571, 428571 and so on, right? Look at this number. 6 digits are repeating, right? 428571. That's why periodicity of the decimal is 6. So now the equation we have is x equal to 1.428571, 428571, and so on, right? We want to multiply this equation on both sides with 10 power 6. This is 10 lakhs, right? Let's multiply both the sides of the given equation with 10 lakhs so that it becomes 10 lakhs times x equal to 1428571.428571 and so on, right? Let us subtract x from this. You see, when I want to subtract, I keep the dots exactly on one vertical line, right? When you subtract this side, it becomes 9,99,999x, and this side it is going to be 1428570.0. You can have dot dot. So x equal to now 1428570 divided by 9,99,999, right? You have to simplify this. This is also a rational number because numerator and denominator are integers, but we want to simplify this further, right? To do that, take a look at this. 1,42,857 times 7 is 9,99,999. Okay. It means if I divide both the sides with the number 1,42,857, the numerator becomes 10 and denominator becomes 7. Got it? So let me write that 1.428571 with overbar on those 6 digits is equal to 1428570 divided by 9,99,999, that is equal to 10 by 7. Here 10 by 7 is the simplest form of the rational number you can write for the given decimal expansion, right? Let us recap what we have just seen now. 0.4375 is a terminating decimal, and it can be written as a ratio of two integers, that is 7 by 16. That is a rational number, right? Similarly, 0.5 is a terminating decimal that can also be written as a rational number, that is 1 by 2. Looking at these two examples, what you can say is terminating decimals can be expressed as ratio of two integers, right? That's why you can say that terminating decimals can be represented as rational numbers, or otherwise you can say that terminating decimals are rational numbers, right? We have also seen that 0.66666 and so on is a non-terminating recurring decimal, right? And we have seen how to express this particular number, this particular decimal, as a rational number, right? That is equal to 2 by 3. Similarly, we have seen another decimal number, that is 1.428571, 428571, and so on. That is also a non-terminating recurring decimal, right? We have expressed that as a ratio of two integers, right? Or we can say that that number is also expressed as a rational number, that is 10 by 7, right? So looking at this, what you can say is non-terminating recurring decimals can also be expressed as ratio of two integers, right? That's what we have seen here. We have expressed ratio of two integers. In other words, I can say that the non-terminating recurring decimals can be represented as rational numbers. Got it? Now let's look at irrational numbers. Terminating decimals are rational numbers, or you can say that terminating decimals can be represented as rational numbers. Non-terminating recurring decimals can also be represented as rational numbers. right? Let us consider this particular number 1.01, 001, 0001, 4 times 01, 5 times 01. You can write 6 times 01, 7 times 01, 8 times 01, and so on, right? It is not going to end because you can write 1 lakh zeros and then put 1. You can write 1 crore zeros and put 1. So it is going to go like this, right? This is non-terminating, right? You can write as many zeros as you want and then put 1. This particular number is non-terminating. At the same time, there is no periodicity. Here 1 comes after 1 0. Here 1 comes after 2 zeros. Here after 3 zeros. After 4 zeros. You remember when we have seen other cases, the periodicity is a fixed number, right? It means every 6 times it may be repeating. Here there is nothing like that. It is non-terminating and non-repeating, right? Let's say that it is a non-terminating and non-recurring decimal. We have seen non-terminating recurring decimals which can be represented as rational numbers, but we don't know how to deal with this till now, right? Pi can be written as 3.1415926535 and so on. Even if you put, let's say, 1 lakh digits after the dot and look at them, there won't be any periodic repeat. It means it is a non-terminating decimal. At the same time, the digits are not repeating in a periodic manner, right? That's why this is also called non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Please note this. Pi is non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Root 2, which is written as 1.41421356 and so on, is also a non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Root 3, that is 1.73205080075689 and so on, is also a non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Please note this. In all these cases, since there is no periodicity, it is going to be it is called non-recurring or non-repeating. And since there is no end to this decimal expansion, we say that these are non-terminating decimals, right? Non-terminating, non-recurring decimals, such as these numbers, cannot be expressed as ratio of two integers, p and q. These cannot be written as p by q, where p and q are integers. Non-terminating, non-recurring decimals cannot be expressed as ratio of two integers. Such numbers are called irrational numbers. We said that whatever numbers which can be represented as ratio of two integers are called rational numbers, right? They are sometimes terminating decimals, sometimes non-terminating but recurring decimals. But when you have a specific case like non-terminating and non-recurring, those decimals cannot be expressed as ratio of two integers p by q. That's why they cannot be called rational numbers. So they are called irrational numbers. You understood now? What does it mean by irrational numbers? The numbers that cannot be represented as ratio of two integers are called irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are represented using q prime. Please note this. Now let's look at real numbers. We said that natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, right? When you add number 0 to the list of numbers, what you have is whole numbers. Then when you have negative numbers added to the whole numbers, what you have is integers, right? Now the numbers which can be expressed as ratio of integers are called rational numbers, we said. And there are some numbers which cannot be expressed. There are some decimals which cannot be expressed as ratio of two integers. those are called irrational numbers. For example, we have seen root 2, root 3, pi, etc. These are called irrational numbers, right? When you put these two numbers together, rational numbers and irrational numbers together, you call them as real numbers. Got it? I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, Learn to Score. Thank you.